I'm Charles McCain. The book I'm going to review now is called Stalingrad, The Fateful Siege, 1942-1943, by Anthony Beevor. He is writing a whole series of books about major battles and campaigns of the Second World War. I've read them all. I give them all 5 stars. Tremendous research. The reason why you would read a book about Stalingrad, there are many books about Stalingrad, the reason why you would read this book about Stalingrad is that, over the others, is that Beevor does the kind of detailed research which allows him to draw conclusions that are very difficult for other historians to do because they didn't do the research. And one of the brief things that I'll mention is that the way that troops are counted by the German army is very sort of unusual. But you know, they would count the bayonet strength, and those were the number of soldiers in the front line, and there would be this strength and that strength. And then there's but the true number of troops is provided by the ration strength. That is, how many people they issue rations to during that day. And so he is able to really, those are the kind of details that he gets and interprets, and that's one of the reasons it's worth reading. Stalingrad was by far one of the most well-known battles of World War II. It was a horrendous defeat for the Germans, and it was the moral turning point, or the moral turning point of the war on the Eastern Front, although not the strategic turning point. That would come later at the Battle of Kursk. Stalingrad is one of the most horrifying battles, and what happened was when the Germans attacked Stalingrad, they thought they were going to take it, and Hitler even announced it had been taken, but not quite. It was not quite taken. And what the Soviets were doing is they were doing what they called putting the Germans in a bear hug. That is, they would get so close to the German lines that the Germans couldn't use their artillery or their own aircraft to bomb the Russians because they'd hit their own men. Right as the Germans were almost worn out, they were fully engaged in the city, that was the moment when, unbeknownst to them, 2 Soviet armies crashed in on either side, encircled them, and that was the encirclement of Stalingrad. 3 months later, the Germans surrendered in what was by far the worst German defeat in history, and very much to us at the moral turning point on the Eastern Front. It's hard to overestimate the importance of understanding and learning about the Battle of Stalingrad if you want to understand German military operations on the Eastern Front in World War II, which constituted the major part of their armed conflict. The book is Stalingrad, Anthony Beevor, 5 stars.